Do you realize that we can get rid of COVID with Lysol, but not narcissists? Narcissists are literally stronger than COVID. Okay, my Beletzes, if you're new here, my name is Michele Paiva. I'm a licensed psychotherapist, and I'm also a financial educator. Money is really important, and your self-value and your net worth usually go hand in hand if you have a money story that's very positive, and if you have a self-esteem story that's very positive. But guess what shoots both of those together? So today we're going to be talking about the 8 different ways a narcissist runs through your head, your self-esteem, and your wallet, and what you can do to bring some of that back. Number 1, the narcissist loves security, but don't we all? The difference is we can conjure up, even if we've had self-esteem issues, even if we've had traumas, most of us can conjure up some kind of self-esteem and security on our own. For instance, if we need money, we tend to work. A narcissist, if they need money, they might have a job and they might be very high-powered, but they also want your money. So they need lots and lots and lots of security. In fact, they need so much security that they never feel that they have enough security or money. Which brings me to number 2, which is they need to fill their ego. You probably have at least one hobby or something in your life that you enjoy that's very authentic. Where the narcissist, usually their hobbies and even the TV shows that they watch are really just so that they have talking points for other people when they're interacting with others. They really don't get a lot of happiness out of much of anything, so they need to constantly chase money because they feel like money is going to make them happy. It never does, that's why they're always chasing it. And that could be why they're chasing you, because you're basically a walking paycheck. Number 3. Prestige! Yes, the narcissist really is into prestige. I mean, again, aren't we all? Don't we all want to feel like we're important? The difference is we don't hang our every cell, our every molecule on looking good to other people. We don't care if we're seen as a little silly, a little flaky. But the narcissist needs to always seem like they're together, always seem like they're above it all. They're uptight in a lot of ways, and unfortunately, they're not the people that are going to go to therapy to lose some of these hang-ups, because those hang-ups are actually a protection for them. Why would they want to lose something that they feel is an asset? Even if they go to therapy, they're not going to be honest, and usually they don't go to therapy. They're only going to therapy if they feel like they're backed in a corner, and usually that's because they're going to lose you, not because they love you, but because you're their narc supply. Whether you're supplying energy, you're an emotional punching bag, you're a wallet, whatever it is that they're getting from you, they don't want to lose that. That's why they're going to therapy, but it's not love. So a narcissist is very much about prestige, and they think that they can do no wrong. Number 4. When a narcissist has money around them, whether they're making money on their own or taking it from you, or even just taking your energy to give them the inflated ego, they actually can support the lies that they tell to other people. In our society, we see someone who has wealth as being very important or very confident, and they can get away then with being a liar. Where someone who is more poverty-stricken, we're going to assume that they don't know what they're talking about. This is something that unfortunately a lot of us have, that we look at people who don't have a lot of money or are struggling and we assume that they make all bad decisions. And we look at people that have more money and we assume that we can trust them, that they make really good decisions. And that is how a narcissist manipulates. Which leads me to number 5, which is it's also a way when they have money and when they're surrounded by money that they can take credit for other people's accomplishments. Again, if they have money, we must think that they know what they're talking about. And they can easily manipulate, and they can also hire people to come up with the ideas and then take those ideas from those people. This is very, very common in narcissists. You also will see this in a lot of different politicians where power and money are really part of who they are and really a part of their persona. Now, this is only for those politicians or leaders in our society who use money and power as their persona. Now, hear me out. There's a lot of politicians and leaders who are not narcissists and who do not use all of this as their persona. And you probably don't hear about them because they're not a narcissist. You probably hear about the ones that are more narcissistic. This leads me to number 6. When you have a narcissist who is surrounded by money, their money, your money, other people's money, friends who have money, they can deflect their failures because they can hide behind money. They can hide behind a fancy car. They can hide behind a big house. They can hide behind a lot of things to look the image of someone who is successful. And in their mind, successful people do not have failures. You will notice that the people that are not narcissists will often talk about their failures. They're really open about them, and they will say that all of their failures are what made them who they are. A narcissist will sort of feel like they have all of these accomplishments and they deflect their failures because they're such a great person. Kind of crazy. Which leads me to number 7. They love to pretend that they're more confident than they are. The more money they have, the more that they can look the illusion of confidence. So if they can purchase things that make them feel confident, they give an illusion. It's a costume. So having fancy clothes or fancy items, whatever that is, gives them that illusion. And projecting confidence is something that they want because it goes hand in hand with prestige, with power, with being someone. And when they are someone, that leads me to number 8, they call the shots. That's where they have the power. This is where the narcissist really gets dangerous because once they can deflect their failures and once they can take others' accomplishments and do all of these different manipulations, they have been racking up not only finances, probably some of yours, not only putting their name on all of your assets, not only creating business mergers, not only taking the corner office, but they've also been racking up a lot of flying monkeys because they've been lying to a lot of people. And once they have a lot of these flying monkeys and once they can manipulate many people, they start abusing their power. They get the power just so that they can abuse the power, and often they abuse the very people that brought them to the top. Which brings me to number 9, which is sort of a bonus one. And number 9 is where they butter up the flying monkeys. So what does this mean? So if they're abusing people and they're hurting all of these people and stepping on people along the way, where are all the flying monkeys? So if you don't know what a flying monkey is, it's the people that they've manipulated that they use to do their dirty work. I have a video on that. I'll link that below. But in general, a flying monkey is someone they need. The higher up they go in finances and in power, the more flying monkeys they need because they've actually wronged and manipulated more and more people along the way. They always need to have the ratio of flying monkeys much bigger than the ratio of people that they've hurt. The people that they've hurt could be individuals. It might be you. It might be entire areas within a business. It might be a gender. It might be a race. It could be a ton of different people. But what they do is they always have a group of flying monkeys. And the flying monkeys are the people that will support them and that will carry on that person's legacy, basically. So if the legacy is very hateful or negative, they will carry that on. Someone who is in a leadership position, who has power, who is a kind person, is someone who is going to want kindness for everyone and equality for everyone. So think about a family. So a lot of times parents in a family are the leaders. If you have a parent in your family who wants equality for everyone and is encouraging love and friendship, they're going to be encouraging good relationships between the siblings, cousins, aunts, and uncles. If you have someone who is toxic in your family, they're going to pit people against each other. But yet you're going to notice that most of the people in that family in some way are going to be in love or supporting that person who is very negative. Part of that is because they want to be on their good side and they're always jumping through hoops to be that person for that negative parent, but they're also being highly manipulated. So they might not know what's going on. This happens in a lot of different families. It happens in businesses, it happens in politics, it happens in friend groups, it happens in churches and synagogues. So you really have to make sure that whatever group you're in, take a look at the key central leaders in that group, whether that is a boss, whether that is a parent, whether that is a politician. Look at what they accept, look at what they deflect. Now, this video is not about politics. This video is about a narcissist and money and your money. So let's go really quickly through those areas so that you understand how a narcissist might take your money in this situation. Number 1, they want security. So this might be the person who wants to move into your home. This might be the person who asks for a loan. This might be the person who doesn't have a car and wants your car. Number 2, they need to fill their ego. This is also the person who is going to crave a lot of your time, attention, and ultimately your money. Understand that when someone is craving too much of your time and attention, they're taking time away from you, potentially getting enough sleep to do a good job, or running your own business, or whatever it is. They're taking time and attention away from your life so that you give it to them, which ultimately, even if you don't physically give them a dime, it's still ultimately hurting your finances. Prestige. Prestige is another way that someone can really take advantage of you and your finances. They might ask you for expensive luxury brand gifts that you traditionally would not be buying, either because you don't believe in it for whatever reason, or it's not in your budget. They tend to purchase luxury items for you, because if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you are just an appendage of what they look like. You're just a prop. So if you're someone who doesn't like name brand items or prestige isn't important to you, guess what? They're going to convince you that you need these things. And pretty soon they're going to be changing who you are, and that's going to be very inauthentic for you. The more you are moving away from who you are authentically, the more you're not projecting your authentic self, and usually you are going to be seen as someone distrustful to other people. This can harm you financially as well as, of course, emotionally. They're going to hold your accomplishments as their accomplishments, and anything that they have that they see as a failure, they're probably going to deflect onto you. They're going to take your accomplishments, no matter how small or large they are, and they're going to own them as part of their accomplishments. At first, this won't seem like a big deal. It'll seem like, oh, this is just what couples do. But pretty soon, you're going to notice that nothing is really about you. It's not your accomplishment, unless they're talking about your accomplishment in a way that supports them and prestige. They're going to start taking your accomplishments as their own. Now, the only time that this doesn't happen is when they're buttering you up and they're talking about you and talking you up to other people in a positive way, only to give them prestige. But in general, they're also going to be taking a lot of credit for the things that you have built in your life and you will continue to build if you have the energy to do it with a narcissist. The other thing they're going to be doing is every time that they have a failure, they're going to project it and deflect it onto you. What it looks like to other people is that you can't do anything on your own, because if you're staying and you're supporting the narcissist, it's going to look like they're actually the ones helping you and you're becoming more and more dependent upon them, and that you're even maybe from the outside manipulating them. This can hurt you financially and, again, emotionally. They're going to pretend to be confident, and because they're pretending, a lot of their insecurities are going to be taken out on you. Because once they have snowed you, it's more important for them to snow everyone else. So they're going to be bringing not only their failures to the table, but all of their insecurities, and they're going to make all of it your fault. If they gain weight, it's because you're not cooking correctly. If they're out of shape, it's because you don't like to jog. It's always going to be your fault. And they're going to get bossier and bossier and bossier and more miserable, because they need to call the shots. And the more they feel out of control, the more they're going to try to control you. That's going to hurt you financially as well as emotionally. It's going to really wear you down. If you do not butter them up, if you fail to be a flying monkey for them, because you at some point were, if you're in a relationship with a narcissist, at some point you were probably a flying monkey for them and you didn't even know it. But if you fail to be a flying monkey for the narcissist, they're going to start to take it out on you. They withhold love, they withhold conversation, they withhold money. All of a sudden there's money problems. Like, there's a lot of things that start to blow up when the narcissist does not feel like they're getting what they need from you. Instead of having a conversation, which is normal, right? Instead of having a relationship talk, again, very normal, they are just going to shut down. But as they're shutting down, they're still focused on looking good to other people. So as you are suffering because you're now having everything taken away, and this is after they've already taken your money, your time, your energy, they've deflected their failures onto you, they've taken your accomplishments. Like, they have done a lot to you by this point. But at this point, this is a great time for you to say goodbye. Get rid of them. Of course, I don't want you to spray them with Lysol, but what I mean is you need to see them as COVID. You need to see them as a virus, as a germ. You need to see them as something that's very destructive that you need to protect yourself from. Now, I have another video for you, but I would love for you to stay, to subscribe, to hang out, visit my website. Let's stay connected.